Hello. My name's RaeAnne. I'm going to be doing 2 poems for you. The first one is called When I Was a Little Girl. When I was a little girl, I used to watch my mother put on makeup. I was mesmerized by the way the black and white liner would outline her eyes, just enough so you could finally see the soul that she's been hiding. I remember the smell of the paint, as she would apply the lightly tan liquid all over her face, hoping that the black rings underneath her eyelids would disappear. If the only way she could conquer this world was if she put on a mask. She would smile in the mirror, just for a moment, fixing her hair and take a deep breath. She then smeared the paint from her face, washing it off like it was a disease, like it was too painful to see her reflection in the mirror, because my mother never thought she was beautiful. Maybe it's because she saw herself as a burden, as imperfection. Like a broken toy in the back of a toy store, she was silenced. Maybe it was because she didn't think her clothes didn't fit quite right. It was never like the mannequins who said you would look just like them if you wore this. Maybe it was because she relied on a box underneath the bathroom sink to give herself enough confidence. Maybe it was the liquid drops that would dissolve under her tongue as she would starve herself, hoping that those love handles would make room for real beauty. Or maybe it was because I never told my mother that the definition of mom was beauty, and the quotes posted on every mirror and fridge in the household that spoke of being confident and beautiful was the only things I really wanted her to believe in. Because that would be the only way that my mother would see herself as beautiful. But she was a goddess, an angel sent from legendary heaven. Her hair was made from gold corn and the waves from the ocean tide. Her eyes were stones that were made from jade that you would hold in front of the sun just to see if it had any imperfections. Her body was sculpted and carved like the temples that held the story of our people. She didn't know that the strength that made her wake up every single morning was the same strength that I wish I could carry. And I never meant to make her mad or angry, and disappointment was something I never really wanted to go near, but one thing I wanted my mother to know the most was that I thought she was beautiful, even when she didn't think she was. You see, when I was a little girl, I used to watch my mother put on makeup. And now I start to engrave my skin with a black line around my eyes as my mother once did. Hoping that a little girl would tell me that beauty cannot be made from glass bottles or diet pills. It cannot be made from certain brands of clothing. But beauty is what other people see in you, something you will never truly see unless you just remove the mirror and smile. I wish we all just had a little girl. The next one is called Ancestors. The color of red should not be spilt unless a child is finger painted. The screams should not be heard in the streets unless it is a boy shooting his first hoops. And the loss of a friend should not be experienced unless it was an argument about whose mother cooks the best bannock. Our ancestors were warriors, not gangsters. When did fighting for your family involve weapons of life destruction and untold scars? When did your pockets and purses become filled with poison and long, jagged knives? When did war and hatred overflow our bodies and we are only left with revenge? What happened to our drums and our songs? When we would stand tall and pray, hoping the Creator would hear us as we would place a small offering of tobacco. old wise ones would brush the smoke of Mother Nature's breath all over our bodies. Now, just take a deep breath and breathe. Just breathe. Our ancestors were believers, not people of destruction. When did trails of empty tin cans and liquor store receipts become a trophy that sat on our kitchen tables? When numbers of dealers got saved in your favorites list and you try to explain, they helped me. They helped me. What happened to medicine and sacred feathers that represented honor and respect? Elders that would tell us around the fire to remind us that this is our earth and to respect it. But we do not own this land, so treat it as a gift because we are just borrowing it from our children. Our ancestors were medicine people, not helpless. When did war and love become things that we always listen to? What happened to using the tools that Mother Nature provided for us with open minds and humbled hearts? But instead, we throw our waste on the ground saying that someone gets paid to pick that up. We categorize people by the brand of shoes they wear, about where they live and where they come from, what kind of job they have. But we were told that every person has a duty in society, and every job is equally as important because our ancestors, they were wise, not foolish. They suffered abuse and misunderstanding. They got told they were wrong but kept on standing. They believed in tomorrow and the next, and when there was times that they had nothing, they still found some way to share. Because there is no such thing as a poor Indian. We have the blood of a warrior, of a believer, of long, beautiful dream catchers. Our voices will be our drums, and our ears will be the wind. The bright colored shawls and long feathers will be our history. Except the drums have been silenced, and the dancing has stopped. So ancestors, I ask you, can you show me the ways of a true Indian?